Shalom, 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 Brother Randy here. Wanted to do a quick video on food storage. I was talking to a brother the other day in terms of, where he should start in food storage, family, what should he be saving and things of that nature. Now, there's 10,000 videos out there on food storage. 10,000, across the board. Everybody's done videos on food storage. So, there's plenty of information out there. But the key is, if you're just starting off, there's so much information out there that, it can literally paralyze you. So, and I was in the same situation when I started, but the idea is that you have to start somewhere. Inch by inch, everything is a cinch. Yard by yard, everything's too hard. So, there's several different factors that you have to take into consideration. One, dealing with food storage. Number one is the size of your family. And number two is the amount of food that you actually go about eating, and your consumption rates. So, what I would recommend that people are just starting off food storage is set short, intermediate, and long-term goals. But in addition to that, have a strategic outlook in terms of where do you think you're going to be going. If you're going to be going to a community, or if you're going to be starting your own homestead, these are things that you have to take into consideration. And so, what are the stocks of the place that you're going to be going to? Are you going to be raising your own meat? So therefore, you don't have to really store meat, because in order to store meat, you need deep freezers. And if you're going to move, how are you going to move all of that stuff? When we moved here, it cost $7,000 to move. 226-footers, freezers, packed with food, food storage. It's a lot to take into consideration. So, and it can be overwhelming if you're storing all of this food and then you plan on moving, because you got to move it all. So the name of the game is to start off small. Now, I consistently add to food storage, long-term food storage. Now, when it comes to flour, rice, beans, things of that nature, you can get them relatively cheaply. But let's take into consideration first, something like rice. Now, to feed, the calculations of the estimates is to feed one person for a year, it's going to take about 200 pounds of rice. How much is rice? Well, it's going, if you're going to buy this is the rice that I like to eat personally. I don't like any other rice. I like this rice and I like Uncle Ben's rice. But if you're going to store back rice, this is going to be $40 right here worth of rice. 25 pounds a piece for a cube. You can transfer it, which we do, into the buckets. But the idea is that you're going to put back 25 pounds or 100 pounds per person. So if you got 100 pounds, you know what I'm saying, it's going to cost you $40, 200 pounds, $80, so forth and so on. How much is it going to cost if you're going to feed one person, two person, three persons for 1 year? How much, in terms of beans? What are you going to want to put back in beans? So, the idea is that there's a lot of different ways that you can go. I also purchase spices. There's a lot of little ancillary things that you can go off on a tangent on. So what I would suggest is just start off small. Start off with the rice. Hit your goal with the rice. Pack that up. Put that back. Start off with some beans. Put that back. Start it off. Then some flour. Whatever it is that you eat, because a lot of people don't take into consideration that you could be putting a whole lot of stuff back, but if you're not going to eat it, then and you're talking about hard times coming. I'm not even talking about a collapse. I'm just talking about basic hard times where you just can't afford food. You just can't afford to go out and shop because times are hard for you, because you've experienced a personal economic collapse in your life, and people, they fail to take this into consideration, that they have this view that, a collapse is, food storage is closed, food stores is closed, and there's no trucks running. No, There's a lot of people that I know personally that can't even put food on their tables. They can't even put a roof over their head. They can't put clothes on their back, and so they have to rely on others to do that for them. And that's a situation that you do not want to be in. You want to be proactive, and you want to take the steps now so that you're not in the situation, because if you don't make the decisions, people will. There's others that will be more than happy to make it for you. That will make all your personal life decisions for you, and then you're a slave. At the end of the day, that's exactly what you are, because you can't make any decision for yourself. So be proactive. Take the proactive steps and take action, because a lot of people, like Pastor Joe Fox said, they'll watch these videos, but they ain't gonna do nothing. They're not gonna do absolutely anything. Because they feel as though they have time, and they don't know when their job may be swept from up under their feet. They don't know if a medical situation can wipe them out. You know how much it costs to stay in a hospital for a day if you're sick? You know how much that can bankrupt you, literally wipe you out if you're in a hospital for a week or 2 weeks? I mean, people don't think about these other kinds of collapses that can take place in your personal life outside of a global collapse. So this is how you want to think, I'm not planning, necessarily. I'm planning for, a larger event, but those smaller events that devastate people on a day in and day out basis, it happens. And people don't realize that one of these days, if you run into a medical problem, if you run into a job loss, if you run into anything that can cause a major disruption economically in your life, you're in a situation where you're vulnerable because you have not prepared. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that, you're taking the steps necessary to ensure that, you have a cushion in place, so that in case you do lose your job, you have food, your house is paid for, your land is paid for, so forth and so on. So this is the mode that, the doers need to get in. And don't be pressed by what other people are doing. Never compare yourself amongst yourselves. The idea is that, hey, you want to start off and you want to get, the supplies that you need for your family. You want to start off because, one of the most great sayings that I like is that, in the end of the day, you don't have to be faster than the bear. All you have to do is be faster than the slowest camper. Hope I was able to say something to show you, how to go about doing this and just do it incrementally. But that's it. Shalom.